Coming up after this, we got the Divas of Horror, Kenya Moss-Dyme, and Deb K. Mason. Right after this.
Yay!
And this week, if you like horror, have we got something for you. By D.K. Mason, Belly of the Mountain, and then Back in the Belly of the Mountain, and coming soon, Howling Lake. And by Kenya Moss-Dyme, Dead Zoned. Sick. Devil Inside. All of these titles can be found for you on your Kindle at Amazon.com. And just a word of warning, I wouldn't read them if I was home alone. You asked for it, and it comes live at you every Friday night from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock midnight. Whatever your freaky little heart desires is what we will discuss live and on air in a group discussion type forum. Join us as we will discuss anything freaky under the sun.
And we're back. You know,
I was jamming out that Houdini.
Yeah. Well, you know, I tried to play scary music in the background when I was doing the promo, and then, you know, it's like when you listen to it back, it's like, that didn't sound that scary.
It certainly didn't. But I wasn't going to say nothing.
You know what, JoDee? Bite me, okay?
Anyway.
What?
Anyway.
I think they're at the door.
Come on in.
Hi, Kenya.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi. And hi, Deb.
Hello.
Yes. Hi. How are you guys?
Thanks for having us.
Well, bowl us over with that enthusiasm, why don't you? How are y'all doing?
Appreciate you asking us back.
You know,
so
we have
the Divas of Horror with us. Deb K, tell us what you got going on.
Okay, I am still working on a sequel to Belly of the Mountain. I am trying to write strong female characters who may be weakened by love for a man, but who remain in control. From the slave girl Maddie, entangled in a forbidden love affair with the son of her master, to Isabella, who finds herself in a seemingly unrequited love affair. Her stories will continue. Watch out for the paranormal romance novel Isabella. You will get a sneak peek of her story in the second novel, Back in the Belly of the Mountain. All these bellies of the mountains. Belly of the Mountain, a special edition combining the first two novels. But another one of my favorite characters is the willful harlot, Zelia, who finds herself in a fierce battle of good and evil with church lady Ellen, who wants Zella gone. Howling Lake will be a standalone story coming soon, and I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to be doing some... Yeah. You know,
Well, it sounds like you got a lot going on there.
Yeah. I think readers will enjoy that, the revisions that I'm making, because, you know, you're going to be reading and you're going to be seeing the good and evil, but you can't tell which is which. So I'll let the readers decide that.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Miss Kenya, what you got going on for us?
A couple things. One is Dead Zone, which is my zombie apocalypse novel that is due out probably this summer. And there's a lot of zombie apocalypse stories out there, but this one's a little bit different because it has some political and social issues going on, which is what caused the zombification of parts of Detroit. It takes place in Detroit.
Wow.
So there's some corruption going on at a local level, which leads to them trying to get rid of what they think is bringing the city of Detroit down, and that leads to the whole zombie, breakout. So it's a little bit different than, the typical zombie novel.
Now, do they target
commentary?
Do they target a specific people, or?
Yeah, they targeted the poor people.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
So that's what happened. They were targeting the poor people to get them out of the city so they could, kind of revamp the city and make it, follow their vision of having a great city. They wanted to get rid of the poor people. And those are the ones that, their methods ended up turning the poor people into zombies.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, so that makes sense as to why you were saying, like, if only they would stay dead.
Yeah, they thought they found a solution to clean up the city and make it, this wonderful utopia. Let's get rid of the poor people, but the poor people turned into zombies. So there's a lot, which is what's taking me so long, because I really have to get into the whole political thing. And I'm not a political writer. I've had to pull in some people who work, in that arena to kind of get their feedback and help me shape that voice. But it's a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting.
Now, is this going to be available on paperback as well?
Oh yeah. That's going to be paperback and ebook, and I'm shooting for this summer. I wanted to do it last summer, and then I got sidetracked and doing other things. I think this summer there's a lot riding on it. It has to be done perfectly because there is so much out there about zombies. So I don't want to put out another zombie book.
There's a lot of zombie books out there, and I like them. I like that kind of stuff. So definitely. I've never read like a political.
I have a question for you guys. Now, and this is probably just for me because I'm trying to wrap my mind around this, okay? So, like, with the book I just did, JoDee thought it was funny that I had to research ways to kill people. How do you guys come up with the ideas for the different scary, scenes that you put forward? How do you get that? What's your inspiration?
Deb, you want to go first?
For me?
Deb, you take that first.
It's crazy because I just, like even gardens, I got elephant ear plants, and I discovered they were toxic. So you might see me in a future novel serving somebody some elephant ear tea. I just come up with ideas, just daily life, looking around and seeing situations where somebody could get killed for that. And, it's just spur of the moment, and I jot it down real quick. There was an incident with my husband, where he had surgery, and the doctors warned us to be careful of the scalp because it led straight to his heart. He could bleed to death within minutes. Well, I happened to be writing at the time, and then I looked at him, and he saw me looking at him, and he got up out of the bed. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
That is too funny.
So, I just come up with ideas, and I don't know. But I wouldn't really do that. Of course, it's just for writing. But
it's safer that way. You don't have to serve, 30 to life when you kill them off in the book. That's all.
Yeah, I think when you're into horror, you're reading it and watching horror movies, your mind just kind of works that way. You see things differently, whereas someone else would look at the same situation and not see it the way you're going to see it. You're going to take it to that dark place. But there's so much in the news, you don't even have to look that far. If you, just look at the news, like that story the other day that was all over Facebook about the dentist who was torturing the children. I thought that would be a wonderful horror story. I wish someone would write it. I don't want to do it. But did you see that? It's a real story.
No, he was torturing children?
Yes, he's got all of these parents protesting his office because he's taking these children into the back room and he won't let the parents come back there to witness what he's doing. And then he's putting them on this board. I forget the name of the board. He ties them down basically on this board that they use, I guess, for children's dental work, and he's torturing them. He's performing all of these treatments that he didn't get consent for. That's a horror story right there, and this is real, and it's happening, and they can't stop him. They're trying
Why
to.
can't
They have to go
stop
through
him?
all of the... Because they have to prove him guilty. They've got to follow the process, and in the meantime, he's still open for business. They're out there protesting.
What?
They can't
like
shut him
be
down.
Shut down.
It's outrageous.
Oh, wow.
They have to prove it first. But that's a horror story right there. Like, does he hate children? Where did that come from? You know, and he's doing this every day. He's done this to hundreds of people.
Wow.
You don't have to look that far for the horror in the world.
Exactly.
It's there.
Yes.
So it's kind of like what you said. One of you guys made a comment before that death isn't scary. Something about real people or real life or something like that is scary or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people are scarier than.
Yes. Because some of the things that's out here, you know, it just boggles your mind. There's nothing I can write that is more horror than what I see in the news sometimes. You know, I don't know if y'all saw the story today where the woman went into a funeral home and slashed the other woman's face with the coffin.
Yes. It was the ex-girlfriend of her boyfriend. And they said that she cut the woman. Yes, they said she cut the woman from her hairline to the tip of her nose, and then cut her hair or something like that. And they found her hair on the woman's knife. It was like a blade you fold in half or whatnot. That type of blade or pocket. I guess that'd be a pocket knife. Shut up, JoDee. You know, something like that, whatever. And so they found the woman's hair on it.
Can you imagine the type of anger that went into that? Like, she's walking around with that much hatred that she can't even let it go when the woman dies and her body's been embalmed and sitting in the funeral home. She still has that anger, and she has to release it somehow. Can you imagine sitting next to this woman on the park bench? You know, there's some people that are walking, standing behind you at the grocery store, and she's holding that kind of anger.
Yes.
Wow.
They caught her in the dead woman's apartment. So my first thought was, you know, her son said, the dead woman's son said that she said she had to go in and get jury, I guess for the body or whatever. So that's where they caught her at, and I'm thinking she must have been friends. I mean, who would trust that? Why would you trust her in the first place? But, you know, it's just an example. It's those kind of stories that get you going. You know, you get you going and you want to write, and like Kenya said, I wouldn't write about children. I talked about that with another horror writer the other night. I don't touch the kids' horror too much, but that is a fascinating story. There's some places I just would not go. You know,
but if it's just a fiction story, how come? I mean, you see, if it's just fiction. Or is it more of a, you know, with you having children and little people around, is that why you say that one's taboo or whatnot? Or is it a supernatural belief that you know how some people just believe, like, you know, like you don't laugh when a funeral procession is going by or something like that?
For me, I actually will write about children in horror because that doesn't bother me. I said I can't do it because I've got too much on my plate. And because it's a happening story right now, I wish someone else would do it because I would love to read it. I can't put anything else on my plate right now. That's the only reason I said I wouldn't do it. But in Day Mirrors, I have like 3 stories in there that feature children, so I don't have a problem with, you know, writing about children. It's fun to read.
Obviously not.
Wow. Well, no, because it's like I'm writing that down now because, see, JoDee got me doing dark, devilish stuff with my writing.
Really, don't be blaming me.
It is. It's JoDee's fault. So I'm actually writing that down because I want to go look up that story and see if I can do the research to that. Because maybe I've been converted. Because my mind just went all kinds of places with what is he doing back there with those children and what types of experiments is he performing. And, you know, I might be the one who tries to do that one, but I tell you what, that makes me say I definitely will never let my son go back there in the back room by himself, I tell you.
Yeah, and they're not supposed to, but that's what he's been doing, and they've been letting him get away with it.
That's what's scary.
Yeah, but if
It's
you want to
scary.
go back
My
in the
son-
back room with your child, who's really going to stop you from going to the back room? I'm just saying.
But my son's dentist office do that. They don't allow the parents back there, and I just never did think about it. But now, it just makes you think. I haven't heard all the details until Kenya talked about it just now. And I mean, it's nothing sinister, but it makes you think. I just never did think about it.
Really
I'm going to
does.
make
that
that.
link
That
on
is
the,
sinister, though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, so I just wrote that down. I'm going to have some fun with that one. I won't do it right now because, I'm working on 2 other books right now that deal with a killing. One has a psychotic break, and the other one, I haven't decided if it'll be dissociative identity disorder or if it's going to be just some form of psychosis. But I'm working on those 2 right now. There's lots of killing and stuff like that. And oddly enough, people want me to write about sex, so I guess I'll put that in there. Maybe, yeah, I know, right? People want sex.
They love
okay.
sex. Yes, they do. They love it.
So I see what you mean, Kenya and Deb, by saying real life is a lot scarier.
Definitely.
And that's a great segue. Real life is a lot scarier. Coming up, we're going to have real life ghost stories. Or paranormal. They don't necessarily have to be ghost stories. Anything in the paranormal. Coming up after this.
And coming Saturday, May 23rd, 2015, the first of many titles from Joe Ken Publications, Washed in His Blood. He was a foster child, ruined by the system, betrayed by the very system that was supposed to protect him. And now, he's back. And those who failed to protect him then will be the ones needing protection now. Available for pre-order, set to download and be released on May 23rd, 2015. Available on your Kindle and coming soon to Nook. And coming up for you next week, Wednesday, May 13th, authors Fanita Moon Pendleton and author Jessica Simmons. Tune in with us next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. See you then.
Oh, goodness gracious. That song actually scared me.
Of course it did.
Oh, wow. I tell you. Oof. Okay, so we are back, and I've already gotten to the point where I'm looking over my shoulder here. So, we are talking about ghosts and other supernatural entities. JoDee, have you ever had an encounter with a supernatural spirit?
Really, a supernatural spirit? Is that redundancy? Anyway.
But shut up. Answer the question.
Anyway, I've had like a paranormal type experience. I'm not going to necessarily call it a ghost experience, but I think I've told this story. I think I told you this story. I know I've told a couple of my friends this, and not too many people know this. But when I was a child, I would say about 5, 6, 7-ish, somewhere around that range. I went to bed normally and went to sleep. And during my sleep, I switched places with someone on a plane that went down, that crashed. Now, I had never been on a plane before. I'd never seen the inside of a plane. I had never even seen a movie about a plane at this time in my life. You know what I mean? but I could tell you exactly what the inside of the plane looked like. I could describe to you the people, what they were wearing, and the person that I switched places with was actually like a middle-aged white guy. I remember that. You know, he's probably like, I don't know, in late 30s or something. But I could tell you everything, like it was like I was there. You know what I mean? I don't know how it happened or whatever, but I was really there. I remember the pilot saying something about they were having some type of difficulties with the plane. I remember all of a sudden an explosion happening. I remember like fire coming toward me, like all this stuff. People screaming, you know, the plane descending. Now, mind you, I'm like 6 or 7.
Wow.
So when the plane, right before the plane hits, and it hits in a body of water. I'm not sure, you know, exactly what body of water, but it hits in a body of water. And as soon as and then I wake up, and I'm like, you know, in a deep sweat. You know what I'm saying? I get up, and I'm like, you know, I'm 6 or 7, so I'm like, what in the world was that? You know, because I'm not really understanding everything. So I remember I would go in my mom's room, you know, and I'm banging on the door. They dead asleep, so they don't, you know. Eventually my mom gets up and she ushers me back. I think she just brushed it off because she was half asleep anyway. You know, I'm trying to tell her exactly what's going on or what had just happened to me, and she kind of brushed it off. And I remember at this time I had a little black and white, little small, I don't know, probably like 7-inch TV in my room. So my mom had turned on the TV, and of course there wasn't much on. You know, this was before cable, or at least before we had cable. And, you know, turn the TV on try to find something for me to watch, you know, and go to sleep. So she goes back in the room, and I'm sitting there, and lo and behold, a news flash comes on, and a plane had gone down.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And it had just came home. You know what I mean? They had just reported they had just reported a plane had gone down. And I was like, and then, you know, in the 6, 7-year-old mind, I'm sitting there like, I was on that plane. You know, like nobody would believe me. I was like, my sister's bedroom was right next door to mine, and so I'm trying to wake my sister up. They're talking about a plane crash I was on. She's like, what are you talking about? Go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she probably thought you were crazy because, you know, she didn't quite understand.
But it was, and that always stayed with me. Like, even now, you know, I'm like, you know, it's like, I'm like in my 40s. But I can still remember vividly everything that happened. Vividly.
Wow.
The look on the people's faces, like pure shock. Like I can always tell people, I know what pure fear feels like because I still remember the screams and the shock on the people's faces, even at 6, 7 years old. I remember what that looked like. So that's my like paranormal experience, you know.
That's more like a premonition, isn't it? Were you sleeping? Did you say? Yeah.
I guess. It was still weird, like, because for a long time I didn't even talk about it, you know. But it, you know, I keep remembering it, you know. And I remember like what the person was feeling, like the person that I had switched places with. I remember what he was feeling when the plane was going down. Like he was thinking about his family, specifically his daughters. He had 2 daughters. You know, he had 2 daughters, and he had a wife. And he was coming home, I guess, on a business trip or something like that. But I can remember what he was wearing. You know what I mean? Like he had like a brown suit on with like an orange. It was like an orange stripy and brown tie with glasses. I remember all of this. Like I literally switched places with him.
Wow.
So that's like my little you know, thing. But that's the only time it's ever happened. I've never switched places with anybody ever since then, you know. So I don't know what was going on with that, but
that's creepy.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I mean, that's crazy.
Like, y'all had a lot of words, like the divas of horror. I had a lot of words.
You got this diva speechless.
Perhaps I should make a book about that one day. Anyway. I'm trying to figure out how I could fit the sex in there, though. Anyway.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was a member of the Mile High Club before he went back to his seat. Well,
maybe.
See, there you go.
Maybe. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
So do you have one, Miss Jordan?
I hate you sometimes. You know that, right?
Really?
Most of my stuff, I'm terrified of the dark. I don't sleep. I don't sleep in the dark. I always have the lights on because I deal with things on a day-to-day basis. So,
what things?
A lot. Huh?
What things do you deal with on a day-to-day basis? That was a little bit ambiguous.
Sometimes you remind me of like a male Barbara Walters. I just wanted to put that out there.
Hey, now I'll take that. Barbara Payne. But anyway.
Yeah, whatever. I've always been one who heard voices and not like craziness or, not like that, psychotic or anything.
What you mean not like craziness? If you hear voices, like, is that not crazy?
No, usually they just want their story told. They just want, someone to listen to them and to write their story down. And so if I get up during the middle of the night and at least write or begin to write down their story, they will leave me alone because that's all they want is to be remembered.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Are you trying to tell me that there are entities that are talking to you so you can write their story?
You know what, JoDee?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
And you're not afraid of these entities that
Did
are
I
talking
not
to
just
you?
tell you that I sleep with my lights on? I do believe I said I sleep with a light on. I never, ever sleep in a totally dark house, room, anything. When I travel and I'm in a hotel room, the TV is on all night. And the TV, not only is it on all night, but I keep it turned to like Nick at Night or TV Land or something, Disney Channel, something light and airy.
Really?
Yes, I do. That's right. I will. And I always have lights on in the hotel room when I go to sleep. So, yes, I do. So, always have. And then I was always the one as a child when one of our family members passed away. They came to see me. Well, I was one of the ones that they spoke to prior to departing this world. And that is it's actually a family trait. There are more of us within the family that actually do that.
Wow.
I'm just the only one who actually writes their stories down.
That totally trumps my story. But anyway. Kenya,
no.
Do you have any real life situations?
The only thing that ever happened to me, and I don't believe in ghosts and all of that in real life. I really don't believe it at all. But when I was about 5, I was outside jumping rope, and I swear to people, they didn't believe me, but 2 black ponies came down the street. And they got in front of me, and they stopped and kicked up their heels, and then they kept going down the street. Nobody ever believed me, but I saw it, and I will swear still today, many, many years later, I did see it. I don't know what that meant, if it was a sign or something, but it did happen. That's the only thing that ever happened as far as, me feeling like there may be something out there. But outside of that, I don't really believe in it, which is probably why I can write about it, because it's just all fantasy to me. I'm just making it up. I don't believe any of it could actually happen. So it's easy to write about it and read about it because I don't believe it.
And see, that's why I can't watch it.
See, I need to see you
believe
some stuff.
it, yeah.
I've seen some documentaries, like real documentaries on some stuff. It might change your mind. You know what I mean? Anyway, Deb K, what about you? Any real life ghost stories, paranormal?
I have too many, but the thing of it is, even though I have some belief in that. I just never really paid any attention, like the poltergeist and they can harm you and all of that, until we lived in our last house. And the stuff that went on there, I could never write about it, but it was so horrible that it made me stop writing for a while. I chose not to write. But the one thing that I do remember, the house was just haunted, just put it that way. But I never will forget I was writing. And I have a habit of when I write horror, I'm imagining my reader's face and I'm laughing and all of that. So, being mischievous. So I was writing in our garage, and as I wrote, it became apparent to me, my kids were sleeping in another part of the house and my husband was at work, that I wasn't alone. And I put that book up right then, and it's still not written. But even now, as I write, I've gotten used to it kind of now because I don't feel like they will hurt you. But a lot of times I'll be writing and they'll look over my shoulder. Like Kenitra said, they want their story told.
Yes.
And they want it right. They want it told right. So they're over my shoulder and, get a peek and all of that and everything. And that's the interesting thing about Maddie. Maddie was a fictional character in a story I wrote a long time ago. But she wanted her story told. So I did that in Belly of the Mountain. And now here's Isabella. So I don't know if those are, I really don't know, but I just feel them as I write them. These women, like I just feel them there as I write them. And so, yes, I do believe, but it would just take too long for me to even tell why. And it's horrible.
No, I understand.
Now, I just remember, I do have one. It wasn't a ghost, but it definitely classifies paranormal. This is when I was older. When I was in my, I think, early 20s, I had a part-time job cleaning up this office building. And we used to clean it up at night. It was me and an older black gentleman. And we used to, of course, we'd go after hours and we'd clean up this office building. And it was in Research Triangle Park. It was a biotech. But anyway, so he would take upstairs and I would take downstairs or vice versa. This particular night, I took the downstairs. And, we were going through each office and cleaning it out. So anyway, I get to like the main office downstairs. It was bigger than all the other ones. So I'm assuming it was like, a bigwig. It was their office. So I was in there cleaning as normal. Now, when I walked into the office, literally the temperature was different. Like, it was like night and day. When I crossed the threshold in this office, I'll never forget this either. It was so cold. I'm talking about like and it was, it was in the summertime, so I had on like shorts and everything, but still, I was, comfortable in all the other offices. But when I crossed the threshold of this office, it was so cold. My teeth were literally chattering, like, it was just cold, like freezing cold. And then there was this smell. See, there you go.
Lord.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
But can I finish?
I'm sorry.
There was this smell. There was this earthly smell to this office. Like, it smelled like the ground. Like, you know how the ground smells, like after a rain or something? And you can, smell the earth? That's what it smelled like. So, still, this didn't cross my mind. I'm 20 years or whatever, 22, whatever. It still didn't cross my mind that something was odd. I just knew it was cold. I was like, damn, they got the AC turned up like a mug up in here, like steadily, going into the wastebasket and everything, and just this weird smell. So I'm thinking maybe they just had a bunch of plants in here or something. But I ain't see any plants, but still that earthly smell. So I'm in there, and they actually had a bathroom in this office too. So I go in the bathroom, they empty the wastebasket and everything, and I'm like, I get to the desk, and I'm like wiping the desk down, and literally this woman tapped me on my shoulder and scared the living I had never been scared. Like, I remember the fear. There's a difference between fear and being scared. I remember the fear when I was 6, 7 years old on that plane, but it didn't even amount to this. This is when I was like 20-some years old. You know, I'm, 6'2", 215. And this lady was small. She was pale. She was deathly pale. She was pale white. She had the greenest eyes you would ever see on a person, and she had like this jet black hair. I mean, to be honest with you, had she not been so creepy, she would have been beautiful. But when she tapped me on my shoulder, I jumped and looked at her, and she just like cracked a smile. It was the weirdest thing. And she just asked me, how I was doing or whatever. But the whole time I was interacting with her, I was scared. I'm talking about literally scared, shitless. This woman scared the shit out of me. Not just because she startled me. I'm talking about being in her presence had me scared. Like,
gotcha.
To this day, I believe she was a vampire. I'm not going to lie to you. To this day, I believe that she was a vampire.
Wow.
And I remember the only thing that got me out of that room, because I was literally transfixed by this lady. Like, I just couldn't move. She was talking to me. She didn't really get in my space or anything, but I was scared and still couldn't move. And the only thing that really got me out of that room was, his name was William, the older black gentleman I told you. He had came downstairs, and he came and got me. He was like, man, I need some help with such and such. So he came in the room, and apparently he didn't have the same effect. She didn't have the same effect on him that she had on me. But when we got upstairs, I was like, Lil, who in the hell was that? And he was like, well, she was like, some big wig or whatever, whatever. And I was like, you didn't feel creepy in there? He was like, he just looked at me like he knew something, but didn't want to say anything. And I just dropped it. But I never forget, that woman scared the shit out of me. And it wasn't because she startled me. See, that's the whole thing. It wasn't that she startled me, because I've been startled plenty of times. Literally, I felt afraid of her. That's the only way I can describe it, I was literally afraid of her, like she was a cobra or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I do understand that, like I told you. I do not sleep with the lights off. I haven't slept with the lights off since I was a small child and never intend to do so. And it's going to be a fight with anybody who tries to flip that light off. Better not do it. Better not do it.
Well, I'm still not afraid of the dark, though.
Do you let him sleep with the lights on, too? Does your son sleep with the lights on, too?
Yeah, he does. A night light in his room, yeah.
Oh, just a night light?
Yeah. But,
okay.
See, I've never been afraid of the dark. Never.
I sleep with the lights on, too, unless I'm not alone. If I'm with somebody, then I don't. So that's what I was wondering about.
I ain't met nobody yet who can protect me from whatever, so we got to keep a light on.
See, I like it pitch black when I sleep.
Oh, no, Jesus. Oh, no, Jesus. No. I need to see who's coming. No, thank you.
Really?
No. Yes.
And if you saw who's coming, what's that going to do?
Give me at least, let me see which direction to run without banging my toe on the bedpost. So. No, I need to see.
Even if I'm napping, I can't, and I've seen it. I've seen what it is, and I prefer to have the lights on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Lights on.
But if I'm, like I said, that's why I was wondering, because if I'm with somebody, yes, of course, and I love to sleep with the lights out, but I know that I can't.
No.
Crazy.
No. I'm so glad for both of y'all. No. Well, I should say for the three of you, no lights off. I'm so sorry. Nope, can't do it. I will have every light on in the house if I could at nighttime. Nope. Can't do it.
It's crazy because I'm talking to other people that also said the same thing. I never would have admitted it, but I'm meeting more people that tells me that they sleep with the lights on for that reason.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know, so that's why I'm talking. I would have never admitted to it before, but yeah.
So you guys must have high light bills, man. You got to keep the lights on.
I know, right? Yeah. The lights on all night.
In all honesty, it's not that much energy to burn a light bulb as it is to have TVs, radios, fans, things like that on. It's actually cheaper just to run that light. So, no, but, and you know, and the way I was raised, you do what you need to do that's going to bring you comfort, because my father does the same thing, my sister does the same thing, and like I told you, I have cousins, you know, in the family. Well, of course, if their cousins are in the family. I have cousins who also, shut up, JoDee, who also possess the same, I guess you call it, gift or whatnot. So this is something that goes back generations within our family, but none of us sleep with a light off. We all have that light on. Shut up, JoDee. I know that was you. I know that was you, you dirtbag. I can't stand you at times. You know
really?
That.
Y'all have the gift of sight. That's what it's called. Sight.
It's called the what?
Yeah.
The gift of sight.
Like I said, I don't know how much of a gift it is. I don't know how much a gift it is.
It's not a gift.
No, exactly. You know, I would like to maybe cut all the lights off at night and go to sleep. But for me, if all lights are off, then that's usually when the darker ones will come. Usually it would be the lighter ones who will speak to me.
I still have a joke right now, but I'm going to let it go.
JoDee, I'm holding up 3 fingers, and I think you know which one that I really intend to give you.
You said when the lights are off, that's when the dark ones come. Okay, I'm gonna just leave that one alone. That's just too easy.
You know what, JoDee? I hate you, okay? I hate you. And, you know, there are times that you make my life very, very unbearable. So I'm just going to put that out there. So, at any rate, going off of what JoDee just said, we want to thank our guests, Deb and Kenya, for agreeing to come on to the show. And we truly, truly, truly enjoyed it. I think we have somebody who wants to talk real quick. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me get you on. Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I've been working on curriculum, but from what I caught of that, that's kind of interesting because I've actually been, I guess, gifted as well for a very long time. My grandma said I was born with a veil over my head, so I guess that means I can do all that cool stuff. It's cool to my brother. It's not so cool to me sometimes. When I was 5, my great-grandfather died, and he used to walk in the yard a lot. He just walked. And so one day I was sitting on the sink next to on the counter next to the sink, and I was outside and I said, "Grandma, look." And my grandma goes, "What are you looking at? What is out there?" I said, It's Papa. Papa's outside. She was, "Papa's outside. Papa's dead." I said, "Mama, look. Papa's outside." She thought I was tripping. She thought I was crazy. But I used to see him all the time. Anytime I wanted to go outside, I just go outside and call him, and he'd go, popping up. I used to play with him. My grandma thought I was crazy. And then she realized, no, you're not the crazy one. You're the gifted one. You're the one with the veil. I see him all the time. When I was 12, I lived in a house, 3 stories, beautiful house. There was a ghost in it. He used to open doors, close doors, just volume on the TV and radio up and down, in the cars, all kind of stuff. I'd turn the TV out and turn it back on. I used to get in trouble. I'd get in trouble over the ghost opening the closet door. There was a shutter-style closet door in the hallway, and if you opened it, it was hardly any room for anybody going down the hallway because the door was so wide. And I used to close every time I walked out of the room, and whenever I guess the ghost wanted to play or whatever and wanted some attention, it'd open it. And my mom would come to the room, "Open the door, baby, close it." And I'm like, it was not me. You know what up here? It was not me.
I'm telling you, Mommy, it's that ghost.
I trouble all the time. I just told her, she thought I was crazy. She's like, "Stop lying. You just need to learn how to close the door." I'm like, "Oh, my God, I'm not kidding you." Then I went on vacation one time. I think I was probably like 16 or 17. There was a little girl in a pretty navy blue and white polka-dotted dress, ice cream cone. I was like, "Oh, this little girl, she's so cute." I was like, "What little girl? What are you talking about?" "Little girl, she's so cute." No, there's no little girl, Sammy. You're crazy. I see them all the time. all the time. There was one that used to lay in the bed with me. My pillow would be cold. You know how they say sometimes the pillow would be cold? It felt like mine was ice. The entire blanket pillow next to me would be ice cold.
Yep.
Wow.
Sammy will tell you, I sleep with lights on and TV on.
I never knew why, but I don't like to play the dark. I don't care about the dark. Nothing creepy ever talks to me. I don't know if it's because I'm a badass like that. They don't fool with me. I don't know. They don't like me. Only the nice ones and the invisible ones want to hang out with me. I don't know. I don't care. I keep it that way. I actually prefer the lights off. I'm not a vampire. I don't like light. The less light, the better for me. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. So me in the dark are we're friends. I'm okay with that. But I see them all the time. I hear stuff. I hear conversations from, I guess, non-existent people all the time. I'm just like, what in the world? Like, what are y'all having? I don't know. It's mad weird, but I hear it all the time.
Cool.
All the time.
Well,
no matter where I go, I literally will see something.
Wow.
I always thought I was crazy. For a long time, I thought maybe it was just me, and then I met other people who could do it too, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe they really do this. I don't know. And my dog would always follow me around. Like we had a family dog, but it was really my dog, and I guess that was why. He was a huge German Shepherd. He was with me everywhere, and I think that was why, because he knew I was the one who was going to encounter all that stuff. He was like, wait a minute now, you can't do it by yourself. So, I mean, wherever I went, that's where he was. And 9 times out of 10, he knew it was coming before me. Because he got acting crazy and jumping up and down and whining. And I'm like, what's the deal? And the next thing I know, here it comes. I'm like, oh, well, hi, bye. I've never been afraid of that stuff. I guess because I was a little kid the first time it happened. It wasn't a terrifying experience. It was more of a comforting experience. So it never really bothered me. It was always kind of like, oh, cool, hi.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. They don't bother me. They don't pester me. It's kind of like, oh, I got new friends. Whatever. Especially when I live with it, it's totally different. I guess in passing, it's like, whatever. But when it lives with you, it's kind of like, oh, hi, you're back. What's up? What happened today? You see anything cool? I want to know about what happened.
Right.
I'm kind of sad because I feel like the older I get, it goes away.
Gotcha.
That's a lot, Sammy. Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sammy. Thank you so much, Sammy. We appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up things now. And we thank Kenya and Deb for calling in and for updating us with their newest projects. And so please be on the lookout for Dead Zone and look out for Back in the Belly of the Mountain coming out soon. And support them, please. And we have some of their stuff listed on the fan page where you can go and you can take a look at their beautiful covers. Well, I shouldn't say beautiful, eerie, scary. That sounds better for horror. So you can take a look at their scary covers and some of the promos that they have out. So we thank you again. Remember, next week we're going to be talking about double standards. So this should be funny because JoDee is a great big double standard. So This would be a lot of I know, I'm sorry. So this would be a lot of fun next week. So, JoDee, I'm going to go ahead and take us out.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye. Thanks for inviting us.
WTF with Kenitra and JoDee is brought to you by Joe Ken Publications, where integrity and great stories just come together. Look for upcoming novels from JoDee and Kenitra Jordan coming the first of the year. 2015 is going to be the year of Joe Ken.